Hello, YouTube. It's your boy, the King of Scrubs, back at it with Game 3 of the tournament I topped using Crystal Beasts from my structure decks. My few upgrades that I've managed to trade for helped lead me to victory here, and this was against the Sky Striker player who 2-0'd me in a previous tournament. Uh, I started off pretty strong here with Extrav into Unicorn, who grabs the Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, who then allows me to use Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates afterwards to grab the Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. And, oh no, I already had the Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, popping the Pyxis to add the Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates. And from here, I'm able to just set up nicely. I did play around his Lightning Storms this time, thinking he might have opened them again. From here, he thinks for a minute because he knows I have the counter trap. He doesn't know what else I have, but I do Ash the Rhoda since it's a one of, thinking maybe he doesn't have a Ray in hand. I don't remember if he did or not. He Fusion Destiny. He changed builds for this tournament, which might have helped me win. He Fusion Destiny. I don't have anything much to it. I do choose to chain the Conclave here, which makes his Phoenix Enforcer struggle quite a bit. But he did not have a Ray to link into anyway, so he's just sitting on this. From here, he super debates and on what to do. He didn't know that Rainbow Bridge of the Heart can bounce wall and damage step, and that's what ends up winning it for me here against his pain in the butt card, because that card is just a pain to deal with. From here, he, I think, just sets a few and passes turn. He doesn't have much else following, but after this, he ends up dead rolling, I believe, into the Ray with the Phoenix Enforcer constantly on board and is unable to do anything because he doesn't want to activate effect for me to chain the Conclave. And since he can't do anything because of the Conclave and the Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, I'm set up pretty well. This leads to a pretty easy game one for me. In game two, I struggle a little more, but am more prepared for the Phoenix Enforcer. I didn't know he was playing it. Apparently, everybody's just going back to Phoenix Enforcer, as I played against it twice in this tournament. He takes a while to think of some plays here, seeing if he can get around it, but he can't. Ends up passing, which I then use the Rainbow Bridge of the Heart to bounce. He ends up chaining, and then I don't remember what I did here. I think I negate it, which he still can activate effect, but it allows me to set up here and work towards just killing him outright. If you guys are liking the new setup, by the way, with the new voiceover and the sped up games, let me know. I don't know if you guys want to see every game I play or if you want to just see one match from the tournament, the most exciting one I can post each time, and see what we can do from there. I could post the more exciting match, voice over it, and all that kind of stuff instead of posting every match. It's usually a 3 to 4 round tournament. It just varies from tournament to tournament. From here I was able to get everything set up, and then I ended up, I believe, searching for the... No, I already had the dragon in hand, so I go into battle phase from here and go swing. No, I banish the Crystal Miracle to place the dragon, and then I send the ruby, or I bounce his back row and bounce the ruby, and then activate Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates to summon back the ruby that's not once per turn, and summon them both from the spell and trap card zone, which allows me to push for enough damage, I believe, to end the game. And we go into game 2 from here. So he gets out life points because he wants to make sure to keep track from here, because he didn't think it was enough damage, which it wasn't. He was alive just barely, but I ended up having back row to set and just having absolute control of the game this time. The fact that he couldn't get to... He was still playing the Lightning Storms, which Thankfully, he did not draw. Lightning Storm is probably the bane of my existence, as they call back row every time. Last time he opened double Lightning Storm, which really sucked for me, so even if I had the negate, he could have Lightning Stormed again, which is just not okay. So, but he summons back. I activate another Conclave, putting him in a tight spot still. He ends up activating Change of Heart, taking my 3k dragon, which I don't care about. And then in damage step, I use that to bounce the Phoenix Enforcer. He double checks to see if the Phoenix Enforcer can activate in damage step, which it cannot. And then he double checks to make sure my Rainbow Bridge of the Heart can activate in damage step, which it can, as it states on the card that it can. Bouncing the Phoenix Enforcer and leading into game 2, because I don't think he had anything else after that. I think he was just swinging to try and push damage and get himself into a good spot. After that, yeah, we just scoop it up and go to game 2 from here. It was a pretty quick wrap up on that one. For my side, I had 9 cards I could side against him, but I chose to only side, I think, 6, and I did 3 Cosmic Cyclones, and I had 1 anti-spell. I managed to get an anti-spell for this tournament. It never came up. I didn't draw it. If it's a one-of, you're probably not going to, but it gave me confidence to have it because I thought it was going to be a Runic player in the last round, but the Runic player ended up getting taken out by a Cyber Dragon player, which was fun to watch. But I side in the Cosmics, an anti-spell, and then I also side in the Waking the Dragons because he's been trying hard to keep me off of back row, and I expected him to side more back row removal in. So I don't think I see any of that, but I do believe in game 2 I open up the Shifter. Oh, I went first in game 2. He made me go first again. People are doing that at this tournament, and I don't know why. But I chain the Shifter to the Extrav, and from there he's not able to get enough spells in Grave, and I'm just able to control the game outright and able to push heavy damage straight from the beginning. So from here I do the regular Crystal Beast combo with I opened up Awakening the Crystal Ultimates, which gets me to the Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, which then pops the Pegasus, searching for any card I want, which I search out for the Crystal Miracles, thinking he might have the Lightning Storm again, activate Rainbow Bridge, adding the Conclave, proceeding to set to summon the Pegasus, not using effect, I believe. I believe I just skip out on that effect. Or no, I summon the Cobalt Eagle, which I need to use Cobalt's Eagle effect more, bouncing any Crystal Beast card to hand. I could bounce them in the spell and trap card zone, by the way, and I just don't do that often enough. But we should definitely be using that effect more. During his draw phase, I flip up Conclave because I made the mistake last time of not flipping it up right away when I could have used Awakening the Crystal, or not Awakening, sorry, Crystal Miracle, negate something, and then having the Conclave to summon. From here, he double checks if I'm able to summon, which I do. I believe I summon the Ruby, summoning back both the Cobalt Eagle and the Pegasus. The Pegasus then gets to place 1, which ends up being really good for me. Thankfully, he did not have the Widow Anchor here for the Ruby. If he did, I don't know why he didn't chain it. He gets sad because I remind him that his spells are banished, and he gets a bit disappointed going, oh, crap. He does have the Rhoda again. It's like glued to his hand. He Rhodas into the Ray, this time not having the Phoenix Enforcer, so he can play completely. He chooses not to summon the Ray because he didn't want to use the Ray under the D-Shifter. He didn't want to use the Ray under the D-Shifter, and so he ends up just, I believe, setting a few and passing turn, which I already have quite a command over the game, having the Conclave and the Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. He did banish off of the Cosmic, which was a little disappointing, but I believe I opened up 2, so it didn't really matter. He summons the Ray, attacks over the Ruby, but doesn't realize the Ruby... Or no, he attacks over the Cobalt Eagle. The Cobalt Eagle goes to the spell and trap card zone, not mattering, sets 1, and then proceeds to pass. I draw for turn, and I believe I had a second Rainbow Bridge of the Heart here, which just helps me push. But let's see if I remember this correctly. I know I summon the Pegasus. He chains the Widow Anchor to stop it. I attack over the Ray. He chains the Ray on attack declaration, summoning out, adding back the Widow Anchor, getting that ran over, and then summoning back out the... or I summon the Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon on Redeclare, and then he proceeds to summon back the Ray. He wanted to make sure I could do it. It didn't matter if I couldn't do it on that attack, because on the next attack I could have done it anyways. He then proceeds to summon back the Ray. Or no, he forgot the Ray, which was really helpful to me. We were trying to figure out why he didn't Ray. He had that Harpy's Feather Duster, which clears out my Conclave, but at this point he just doesn't have enough to do anything. He's got 2 in hand, and since he forgot the Ray, he wasn't able to reoccur, although since the Ray already used its tribute effect, it would not have mattered, as I would have swung over the Ray. This was it for the game.